been about a week since I uploaded my last video concerning, I think the last one was just really getting the final bass line down and sort of honing the Jameson tone and all of that. So if you're interested, go back to that one. That was part 4. We're into part 5, and I've had a busy week, a few gigs, lots of things going on, but in that time I've been jabbing away at getting the keyboard parts in. When I say keyboards, that entails quite a lot, really. Just again listening to the tune, going back over what Marvin did. There's a lot of strings on this thing, pianos, whole heap of backing vocals, which we'll get to later, bits of percussion. So you know, there's still a lot to do. However, I think I've kind of come to the end of what I can do right now without adding the vocal, because the vocals in a way are going to change the whole thing again slightly. So I'm not going to go too far into it, but I've got enough here now. It's been quite an education, just, you know, building a production in and around these sounds. So anyway, let's just start. So first of all, I did a piano or a Fender Rhodes part. So I picked up the Native Instruments Scarby, like this. Anybody of you that's Contact, you'll be familiar with this. Now I used a Mark 1 stretch tuned. I added a little bit of EQ, I panned it, and I compressed it slightly as well. And the preset was one called Funky Rio. Okay, now I messed around with this for quite some time to get, for me, the right sort of sound. So go back to the piano part. We'll just play it actually from the beginning. Let's just see where we are here. Let's go back. Okay, so really nice old sounding Rhodes. You know, I'm loving that. If we go to the strip, see what I did with it. I compressed it with my Slate MU compressor ever so slightly, and of course our old favourite, the Slate tape. So some compression, some tape, and some inherent EQ and pan and stuff on the actual Contact itself. Quite soft sound. So that was the Rhodes, and then of course we have the strings. Now this has been actually driving me crazy trying to get these right. I ended up using 2 lots of string sounds, one of which was Contact. I think I used the violins again. Let's just pull that up and see what we got here. Contact, yeah. So I'm using a string ensemble, okay, on Contact. Then I'm using, well, what I would have definitely used is something called Hollywood strings in Omnisphere, which sounds something like this. Now, I'm a bit of a fan of these strings. It's almost like they've been recorded on ribbon mics. It's very, very useful, especially for long, sustained legato kind of things. So, you know, and then there's, in the arrangement, there's some sort of tricky little... Okay, so, you know, parts like this, really, I mean, what I would do here is maybe sometimes play in the rhythm. So in the keyboard, I would be going literally digga-digga-digga-digga-da, or da-da-da-da-da-da-da, just playing in those sextuplets, I think they are. And then fill in the notes afterwards, because I haven't got the accuracy. So I almost sort of drum this stuff out on the keyboard and then touch it up afterwards. So, you know, I'll get... So I'm just trying to replicate some of the live string sounds, because in a way on the original it is a big player in the in the whole thing. So big high strings there. Yeah. It's just trying to capture the feeling, and like I say, I could have gone very bright with the strings and it didn't seem to work. So I actually spent quite a lot of time with that, trying to get that right. So we went from strings into, on the original recording there was a vibraphone. Now I have not got a vibraphone, and I was shocked to find that the Contact, since it's got such a vast library, didn't have one. And maybe it's me, but I could not find a vibraphone, and that's what's on the original recording. So wow. Now that sounds a little harsh, but in fact if I put it back in the mix, these are tubular bells, and let's just pull that up quickly and you can see what patch that is. It's Contact again, orchestral tubular bells. I haven't messed with it too much by the looks of it. It's in quite a big cathedral, and I've added some Valhalla reverb. Pulled up that, and I've added quite a lot of decay, because I wanted that whispering, evoking that, like, you know, almost a bit spooky really, and put on a mix. So yeah, I mean, it's a gorgeous sound. So in the mix, real nice. Again, they might come back a little bit. I mean, the mix right now is not absolutely there, but I love the decay on this. I can really dial it in just how I want it, and it's got this color button which is giving you different sounds from different reverbs from those different periods. So the 70s one, apart from it being brown and orange, which is really cool, is in a way emulating more of a 1970s reverb. Okay, so just right at the end with throwing everything at it, I've got Omnisphere working, and I've got the there you can hear yeah. Once I'd done that, I had a lot of fun with some pads and effects, which towards the end of the tune, if we just play that with the strings. So, you know, it's a Marvin Gaye tune, so trying to get that, you know, spacey feel, you know, it's got to, again, get that loved up a little bit, you know, anything that can go there is a good thing. So it's, you know, some of these sounds are quite psychedelic towards the end. I'll just run you through some of the so if we pick out some of the more, you know, this again is all Omnisphere. It's just brilliant for doing this kind of thing. I've got Deep C, which you know, again in context, you've got to hear this stuff in context. Okay. Deep C pad, high string, which will be just exactly that. Hollywood, I've got more Hollywood strings in there, more Hollywood strings. I've got a singing saw, which is an instrument that I love, and again, it's got that really retro feel. There you go, look. How cool is that? Ooh. Okay, so again, in the mix, if we can hear it, just pull it up for fun. atmosphere. None of this has been particularly affected too much because the sounds are amazing as they are. These guys have spent a lot of time at the other end getting these things to sound just right. So I tend to not touch pads and stuff too much with EQs, and not unless I really have to. I've got another one here called Love Rhodes, which is a bit of a sort of mashup of a Mini Moog and a Fender Rhodes. We'll just put that in the mix. So it just adds a bit of... Yeah. Again, yeah, that's how it stands right now. I think while I'm here, I may as well just show you what I did. I've kept the loops as they are. I've mixed them slightly and I've taken them out here and there to give more texture. And then I was actually contemplating doing a live drum track, but I tried it and it's like, I don't know, I was kind of attached to the original loop in a way. So I just added my own drum fills on Easy Drummer. Easy Drummer looks like this. We've got these kind of... So, you know, I'm just adding stuff right at the intro. I think that the intro comes in with... So yeah, if we just solo that out. Okay, and then later on in the tune, when it gets a bit heavier and a bit funkier, I'm sort of... There. Let's just hear that fill there. Oh, okay, so nice, I'm liking that. So the patch here is type progressive, prog, I guess I've tweaked it probably. Again, in this you can tune the drums, do whatever you want. I mean, it's endless. Lots of fun, but I'm really liking the tone of those drums. They are very, very much in keeping. I mean, when we go back to part 1 or 2, we're saying that the original drum track was very dead and flat. Well, this isn't massively ringy. Oh. But it's got a little bit more sting in it. So if we just pull up the loops, we can hear that probably better. And these are all played in. I just get on my electric kit and have a blast, and then I save the bits I like. So, and that's what I'll do. I'll just go through it. Yeah. Oh, nice. I like that. So, if we just drop in the bass line on that, there's quite a lot of tracks in there. So on and so on. So, you know, I've done it. But it really adds it, because if you're using loops and you know, you want to make sure that it doesn't get too flat in terms of, okay, it's great to use loops. The groove's always is always sweet, but you know, breaking it up with some real kit is a good idea. We've also got some percussion. There's tambourines I've thrown in, triangles. Mix and match it, just tasty, you know, put it on the left, put it on the right, panning it, doing stuff with that is always good. Okay, so we'll stop there, but you can see, oh, this was vital. Hang on, what's this one? I mean, in the original, again, if you listen to the, it's got quite a high up in the mix. It's the token drug dealer with the bongos, you know, that gets to play on the track. Here he is. There you go. And again, it just adds. If you always go back to the template and reference this stuff, and then you pull it in, even though it might not be, and this isn't the point to make an absolute copy. It's just to get the vibe. It was fun sometimes going, you know, bongos, congas, not something I use that much, but in this, it just went bang, and there you go, that works. Okay, next time I will be looking at doing some vocals. Now, there are a lot of vocals on this tune, so that should be fun. But as it stands right now, it's looking pretty good. I've got to add some guitar as well. A friend of mine, Robbie's going to come over next week, hopefully. And Paul Hayward, another good friend of mine, is hopefully going to put some, as well as doing the backing vocals, he's going to put some saxophone on as well. So there's lots of stuff, and then ultimately Scarlett will be putting on the lead vocal. But I feel like I'm kind of halfway there right now. Alright guys, thanks for watching, please subscribe, and